Christmas, everybody. Welcome to the Christmas Countdown Show, episode number 8. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy, Danny Jordan.
Hello.
We got Chris Sisley coming to us live from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
On the ones and twos. And we're here with you. You're listening to us. It's happening. You are in the season. Danny and I are wearing fun, festive gray T-shirts together.
We look very
unplanned.
casual today.
I'm wearing an Elf, Buddy the Elf T-shirt. You're wearing a Little Nero's Pizza.
Little Nero's Pizza
From Home Alone.
That'll be $122.50.
That's right. It's great. It's a great reference.
That's a great line.
And we're here. We are counting down today. This is a great list because if you listen to 10 through 6, you were like, wow, I don't know how the lines could get any better. But we are doing the top 10 lines from Christmas movies. Yes. Most quotable, perfect lines from Christmas movies. And today's list is going to be 5 through 1. So these are all bangers. These are the
yeet
top
bops.
of the top. The yeet bops, if you will. And so we hope that you stick around to the middle part of the episode when we do that. But first, we like to just, shoot the shoot, and
I thought you were really going to say
I was going to do something.
My eyes got really big. I was like, Eric, kids and family, kids and family.
Danny, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the season now that we're in it?
Eric, I'm doing great. I'm doing absolutely fantastic. If you look around our studio, which was already festive,
yes,
this studio has become even more festive because I took a little trip to Target, as they like to say, and did not go there specifically for what I ended up walking out with.
Those were the best Target trips.
I went for body wash.
Sure. That's always the case.
I was with my 1-year-old and my wife and our older daughter.
Man, I smell bad. I need some body wash.
No, I was at that point where I was shaking it as hard as I could in the shower to get it all the way down to the end. And I was like, I've got some time today. I'll just make a quick trip over to Target, grab some body wash, get out of there.
Yeah.
So my wife calls me. She goes, we're actually on our way home from dance. What are you doing? I was like, we're going to Target. She goes, we'll meet you there.
Great.
So I beat her there by about 10 minutes. And I was like, well, it'd be silly for me to go into the store.
Sure.
Because then she has to come find me, whatever. I'll just hang out
by the front
in the 135 section up here.
Of course.
Which is all Christmas right now. So now I did get a nice collection of stuff.
Great.
Which is now on display.
Yes.
Here, and I think this all cost me $16, which
Beautiful.
is amazing. I got a stocking for Eric.
Love it.
Stocking for me. I think Eric considers these to be our placeholder.
I'm considering these placeholder stockings because, as we talked about, I think that we should put it out to you, our loyal and faithful listeners, to either, we're not asking for things, either point us in a direction of the greatest Christmas stockings that we must get, or tell us if it's a homemade version, how it should look.
Yeah.
Or if you're able to make a stocking and you think I would love to see this hanging on the set at the Christmas Countdown Show, you can send it to our P.O. Box and we would gladly hang it up on the mantle.
We will hang it here. We will get rid of these placeholder, not good enough for Eric stockings that only cost us $3 a piece. True. I will say there weren't many options in the stocking $3 section. They had these and then another one that looked like an oven mitt.
Right.
I legitimately thought it was an oven mitt when I first looked at it. But we got some new stockings. We've also got these little metal tin pails. Jar thing. They're they look like little pails. This one right here that I'm holding says snowballs on it.
It's got little
5
balls
cents.
that
It's
look
got
like
little snowballs coming out of it. Eric, you've got one over next to you.
Let's see. Mine says fresh cut trees, and it's little Christmas trees with just a slight dusting of snow on them.
They've been flocked.
They have been.
And then we got one more because they come in a set of 3, and these are $3. And they have a couple different sets. There was one that was logs stacked. It was very, very cool. This one says on the outside sleigh bells, and it has sleigh bells spilling over the edge. That actually,
you got them right next to you. That's great.
If you remember season 1, at one point in the season, I got really into jingling bells.
Yes, yeah.
When Eric would do his intro.
Sure.
And now
you can get back into it.
And that's a good sounding jingle bell.
It is a great sounding jingle bell.
It's so solid.
Very
so
good.
We got those. And Eric, there's something else that you can't see. I got you something.
No way. What? Oh boy.
This is the first gift of the holiday season.
The first gift of Christmas.
Countdown. So I got us this bag, which
I love the bag already.
It looks like an old school like mail bag, right? And it says Santa approved, special delivery.
The extra nice list.
It's
I
so
like that.
cool. I think this was $1 or $3.
Love that.
But I'm going to use this throughout the season for when we get fan mail. This will be our fan mail bag.
love
Or when people
that.
send us gifts, this will be
Yeah,
where we put the gifts. So if you've like, oh, I want to send you guys something, it's going to go in this little bag right here. But I did get the first gift of Christmas.
All right, let's see what it is.
I felt bad.
Okay.
You know, I already have an ornament on my tree.
My tree is bare.
Your tree is bare. So I got you.
Oh, look at this fun ornament. It's a big E in wood, which I love anything that looks wood. This is great, Danny. Thank you so much. I'm going to hang it right now.
Hang it on
I'm
the
gonna
tree.
Pull away from the microphone.
The
first
ornament
of Eric's tree.
Oh, I love it.
rip off
I was going to say, maybe take off the tack. Hopefully it doesn't rip your finger. That's one of those.
Or the rope.
And then it wouldn't hang. Here we go. He's hanging it on his tree.
Here.
And it is officially...
It's officially Christmas.
It's officially Christmas.
Yay! I love
Merry
it.
Christmas.
Thank you,
Eric.
Danny. I
Is
appreciate
it the first
that.
holiday gift you've received this year?
I think so, yeah. I can't think of any other ones that I've gotten.
I did it.
Can I tell you that I got you a present?
What?
I have not brought it in yet, but it's a good one.
Really?
It's a good. I'm thinking of it as like your Christmas present.
Okay.
But maybe I should give it to you early.
Yeah, I'm going to say something.
Okay.
Last year,
Yes.
you got me a Christmas gift.
I did.
And I think
And I got it to you promptly.
You got it to me in, I think, August of 2022.
Correct.
So when you say you got me a Christmas gift, forgive me.
Yeah.
But
Forgive
my hopes are not up right now.
You're going to love this one.
Okay, you're going to love it
Trust
next year.
me. You really. Well, the gift I got you was good. It just
rocks.
took too long to get
I
to
almost
you.
wore it today.
It would be perfect
So
with what
you
you're
got
wearing.
me a little Nero's hat like
Yeah.
the pizza delivery guy wears in Home Alone, but my hair's looking good today.
Yeah. Don't mess with that.
And we're going to
If
be
you're having a
shooting
good hair
some
day.
additional video content
Yeah.
after this. I was like, don't mess that up,
Don't
man.
mess up that.
While you got hair, you got to take advantage of those
Absolutely.
good hair days. But I'm so excited to see
It's good.
what you got me.
Maybe I'll bring it next week.
I think you should.
Okay.
I will open it.
I will.
Now I feel like I got to get you another gift.
I like this pattern though. This
By
will be
the end
great.
of this, Eric and I are
Be
just going
rich
to
in
be like
gifts.
just like piles of gifts
Yeah.
around us. New AirPods, all the fun stuff.
Yes. I remember I was on when I was doing the Shrek tour, we did like a grab bag where everybody got gifts, and it was only because I was making a little bit more money than I had ever made in my life at
Yeah.
that point. And my person that I had was Kevin Quillen. Do you know Kevin Quillen? He's a Broadway dancer guy. And what we got him that Christmas, we were supposed to only spend $20, and I think I spent like 90. And I got him an iPod Shuffle. Do you remember the little?
You are Michael Scott.
Yes, it was like the little like it was like a little rectangle.
Yeah, it had like
iPod
a little
Shuffle.
clip, right?
Yeah, a little clip. It was
Yeah.
great, but like
held like 3 songs.
no, it held like 500 songs.
Oh, did it really
Yeah,
hold
it
that
was
many?
great. Yeah, it was great.
Oh wow.
So it was great, and I remember I gave it, and I felt like such a baller. I was like, "Here you go, bud."
Everyone's like,
Everybody's
oh,
like,
cool, new socks.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah.
a teapot,
An iPod.
an iPod. Eric, the limit was
limit
$20.
was $20.
That's exactly what happens
Yeah.
in the Office Christmas episode when Michael gives Ryan, oh, what, an iPod? Wow.
Okay.
A gift tells somebody how much you love them.
That's right.
I love you $300.
That's
worth.
right.
Oh, that's so great. Well, I'm excited that the gift giving season is here, that we're getting to share gifts. If you want to share a little gift with us, we would love for you to rate and review
Please do.
our show. If you haven't done that already, it's super easy. You can do it wherever you're listening. While you're listening to the show, you don't even have to stop listening.
Yeah.
You're like, these guys are great. I want to give them my heart. Well, give us your heart in the form
Please.
of
In
a
words.
rate and review.
Yeah.
You can give us 5 stars. You can leave us a review on Apple. Everywhere else you can't. What was that noise?
It was almost as if the fireplace was turning on, but it wasn't.
There was like a
there was
noise
a
that
nice
just
little
happened
creak
behi-
that happened out of the fireplace here.
I was like, get the extinguisher.
We got the fireplace
We're going down.
off of Facebook Market, so there could be something living inside of it. We don't know.
Anyway, we would love for you to rate and review the show. If you're listening on Spotify and you can't leave us a review, just shoot us a DM on
Yeah.
Instagram or email us, Kringle at ChristmasCountdownShow.com.
By the way, is a great email address.
Thank you so much.
Danny came up with Kringle at ChristmasCountdownShow.com. Great email address.
I'm feeling very good. Thank you. You're really propping me up today. I appreciate you. This is the den of positivity.
That's right.
And I really enjoy that about us. But anyway, you can follow us on social media as well at Christmas Countdown Show on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube
now,
and Twitter.
Yeah.
And you can follow us in the metaverse while you're at it. Speaking of.
Wait, for real though, you may be able to. Danny and I got an email from a gentleman, which I can't remember his name, but Danny's going to pull it up. So Devin. Devin. And Devin said he was a huge fan of the show.
Yeah.
And that he does design, like game design.
Game development,
and
video game development.
Yeah, video game development. And he designed something that we can't post it yet because we're figuring out what to do with it. But we've seen it. Yeah. He said, I love the show. I wanted to create a place where other members of the Christmas Countdown crew could like come together and celebrate Christmas even when it wasn't the season. And so he designed this like world, which will I guess be in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Where like you come into it and it's like a train. And it's like in the middle of the mount. Yeah, like and it's in the middle of a little valley in between the mountains and seemingly the North Pole. Yeah. And there's a nice cobblestone street and all the lights are on and it's got like a little main street and there's a movie theater and he has pictures of me and Danny. We're like the billboards in this little town.
Yeah.
And you can go in and there's Christmas music playing and there's little restaurants and stuff. It's like a whole thing. It's so cool and so exciting.
Speechless.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out with Devin because obviously it's his creation.
Yep.
How we can sort of share that with people. And I don't even know if the metaverse is live yet. I don't know. But it seems like that's what it's
real. I don't. Is Devin real?
Who knows?
Is Devin some bot out there on the internet who's like, I like Christmas.
I will fool them.
I will fool them, and then I will take them down. I will invite them to my fantasy world. No, when I saw this email come through, I was like, oh, this will be interesting. Not knowing what to expect, and then I hit play. And was absolutely floored. Like I had chills watching this. Like you can go into, he created this movie theater where theoretically when this world becomes live for people to join, you fans, you members of the Christmas Countdown crew, we could all like put on VR headsets and like
watch
walk
the same movie at the
and
same
sit
time.
in the theater and like I could look to my right and like, Laura, Crafts Joy could be sitting to my right and Chandis is sitting to my left and Eric's there with his family in the back. Like it's like, and when you like are walking up to the theater, the sound of the world starts to shift.
Yeah.
From like soundtracky to like all of a sudden Christmas Vacation is playing.
Yeah.
It's one of the, and then there's like a town square.
Yeah.
That's like the Christmas Countdown square where you could go and watch Eric and I.
In theory, there's like a little stage there. I think we could like do a live version of our show, recording it in the metaverse.
Dude,
this is all the future is now, folks.
It is. Isn't it funny though? Eric and I were talking about this on the phone the other day. That in season 1 we were like, metaverse, what a joke. NFTs, fake. And now we're like, the metaverse is the coolest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Totally.
But anyway, just huge shout out to Devin. Again, we are humbled, I think, by one, what you've created, the fact that our show inspired you to do this. And hopefully, sometime soon, maybe this holiday season or next, this will be a world, or even not in the holiday season.
Yeah.
If you just need a little escape.
Mid-year
little taste of the spirit. You could do it. So not everybody has to create a metaverse to get some love from us. Yeah. We do like to shout out people who also leave us reviews and ratings on Apple, or you shoot us a DM. I think we should share a couple right now if you'd like to dive into that, Eric. All right. So this first one, I'll go first, and then I'll pass it off to you if you're cool with that. Yeah. So this first one was a review that came to us on Apple. This is 5 stars, and the title is Obsessed. And this comes from Alyssa Lee W.
Great.
Easy one.
Easy one to say.
Yeah. Wait till you see the next one. This is, the review is, I love Christmas so much, and it's so fun to listen to this when my kids are at school and baby is napping. Face. I love that. Thank you so much, Alyssa. We're so glad that you found our show. I'm going to pass this next one off to Eric.
All right, here we go. This next one is the title of the review is 5 golden stars with the star face emoji, which is nice. And this is from Instagrammer 1-859-472-84 ... So it might even be longer than that. So I apologize, Instagrammer 1-859-472-84 ... But this is what you said, and we are appreciative of it. And let's hear what you had to say. You said, last year around this time, I was searching for a podcast that would be the sound only equivalent to Christmas movies. Ooh, let's read that again. I was searching for a podcast that would be the sound only equivalent to Christmas movies.
But I settled for this.
I found these two magically merry men and have been listening ever since. I love listening to them discuss their Christmas favorites and give me new ideas to watch, listen, to bake. I can put this on during tedious work tasks or on walks, and I am instantly filled with Christmas cheer. Merry Christmas! And they have a little Christmas tree emoji. So that was great. Thank you, Instagrammer 1578429. Metaverse.
Come to Christmas
See you
countdown
there.
land.
Algorithm.
I love that we're keeping so many jokes.
We got to.
Alive.
These are good,
from
though.
season 1. I think the super fans are like, yes,
Deep cuts.
I remember
They
that.
like it, yeah.
I can't wait till we do the whole episode dedicated to all the words that Eric puts G's into.
Sure. Onion.
Like.
Like.
But that's an N.
That's an N that I put.
Eric, I went back and watched this video from season 1.
I know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Online?
Mm-hmm. I think it was a glitch in the recording software. No, because I don't think I would ever say online. I wouldn't say that.
But did you know that multiple people commented on there yeah, when I was listening to the episode, I thought
They
that
thought
too.
online too.
So it's all the
I think it was a recording thing.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. All right, fair enough. I just
on that one. Onion, I definitely put a G in.
Which is one of the best moments.
The correct way to say it.
Okay. That's one of the best moments.
Yes.
From season 1.
It was good.
Hands down. I can go back and watch that video over and over again. And it makes me so happy. And if you want to know, if you're new to this Christmas Countdown crew, I think that was in our top 10 foods episode because you were talking about the
green bean casserole
and
something.
the onion strips that go on top of it.
The crispy onion strips.
Oh my gosh. We also have a video version of that.
Yes,
on our Instagram,
socials.
YouTube, Facebook, it's everywhere. So make sure you're following us there to see all those fun pieces of video content. So we're getting through all of the busy biz.
Yeah.
Here today.
Should we do? You know what I want to talk about real quick? This is a total self plug.
Okay.
But it's exciting. So we have a friend of my daughter's and her parent who plays in a big band here in Southern California called the Angel City Big Band.
Fun.
And we went to go see them a few weeks ago. And they were playing at the American Legion in Woodland Hills.
Of course, a big band would play.
Of course, it was great. Yeah. And they were playing all the Sinatra hits and, the Rat Pack and the standards and everything. And there was people there and they were dancing in front of the band. It was great. They had some singers. It was so much fun. And the friend of ours introduced me to the band leader and said Eric's a singer as well and he would love to sing with us. And so they invited me to sing with their big band for their holiday show, which is going to be on December 10th at the Woodland Hills American Legion. They have a 20, 25 piece big band. Gosh. We're going to do a bunch of Christmas songs. So if you live in Southern California, I think it's $3 to go. You just get your ticket when you show up. But yeah, that's going to be on December 10th at the American Legion in Woodland Hills, Angel City Big Band with guest vocalist, yours truly, Eric Peters.
I love that so much. Do they call it Angel City because of Los Angeles?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I will be there. I'll be there cheering you on, rooting for you.
It's going to be good.
I can't wait.
I think I'm going to sing 15 songs.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot of tracks.
They sent me a long list of their holiday tunes, and they said, what do you want to sing off this? And
you said every single one of them.
All of them.
I want to sing all of them, and I got a few more.
Yeah.
It's like a normal countdown list.
I did.
They were we want to do 10 songs. You're I got 15.
I got a few extra. Let me just put a few extra in there. Yeah, totally.
That's so cool, Eric. Yes. So a lot of things are happening because we are in the thick of the holiday season. The day that this comes out is November 10th, which means tomorrow at the Disneyland parks in Southern California, as well as the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, it is officially holiday time.
Yes,
at the parks, and the day after that.
In Paris. Yes. Disneyland Paris switches over on the 12th.
Oh, my gosh.
Have you ever watched, there's a special that you can find online where they they show how they flip the park overnight because it's like decked out for Halloween in the fall and pumpkins and everything.
Yes.
And then they don't close the park, but like I think they close a little early on the day before
Right.
the holiday stuff. But it's not like the whole day. It's just a few extra hours. And then they have these people that have been like rehearsing how to flip the park. And then they come in late at night and they decorate the castle and they put all the wreaths everywhere. They take down all the pumpkin stuff. It's amazing. It's very
It's
cool.
incredible. I was laying in bed last night thinking about my plan of attack for decorating
Your house?
my house.
Yeah.
And usually I'm like a let's get it all done in one fell swoop sort of person. But last night I was like, let's be smart. Danny, let's think about stages. How can you decorate the house as to save your back? Meanwhile, everyone over at the Disney parks
They're like,
is like, one night only. And it's like,
switching up everything.
yeah, and it's like how many acres worth of property and all these little
Yeah.
details. And I'm like, I don't want to put up my 200 lights in one day. Like, my gosh.
But
Like,
you are a crew of one. They are a crew of
I am a
thousands.
crew of one. How do I get a crew of like five?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll start, making more friends in my neighborhood.
Sure, yeah.
and I feel like I've become like the holiday person.
Yeah.
In our neighborhood. I think I talked about this season 1 that our neighbors across the street, like their kids are all grown. Like we're one of the younger couples
Yeah.
in the neighborhood. And this couple across the street was like, our house used to be the house that always had the lights
Yeah.
up first. And now you're sort of like putting everybody to shame.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I have a responsibility now because we are a corner house
Yes.
as well. And
You
there's
set the tone.
we set the tone.
You set the tone
Yeah.
for the neighborhood. Set it early, set it strong.
That's my plan.
Okay, here's a question for you because this is like right in the time that
Yeah.
we're at. What is your feeling on when you can put up outside decorations and when you can put up inside decorations? And also, I will say this before I hear your answer. I have been thinking about, because usually we're recording this on November 1st.
Right.
And this is usually when I put up all my inside Christmas decorations. I usually wait to put up my outside ones until the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But I put up my inside ones November 1st. But I've been thinking this year, I want to put them all up tonight because I also partially want to have like a time-lapse video of like my whole house like becoming Christmasified.
yes.
But I also kind of want to take my time and do it a little bit over like a few days, but then I can't do the time-lapse thing.
Are you talking about interior and exterior?
No, just
or
interior.
just interior.
Just interior.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough debate. I last night I was like, well, maybe I'll start by getting my extension cords set up and getting all my power stations
some
ready to
prep
go.
work, yeah.
And I was like, wait, where did I was like trying to remember how I got power to one part of my house last year. And I was like, why didn't I take pictures of that? Because every year you're like, oh, I'll just remember.
Yeah.
I'll remember where this is all at. And
It's clear. Obviously, it would go there.
obviously I would know that this cord would go there. And now look at Danny, beginning of November being like, what was wrong with you last year, man? That's a great question. I think, we've already got some holiday decorations up inside the house. We were at Target the other day and I bought Emerson this little, she's obsessed with the Disneyland carousel.
Yeah.
So they have this carousel that's like reindeer going around with like lights, and you hit the button and it plays "We Wish You a Merry Christmas."
I think I saw that. Yeah.
She is obsessed with it.
I love that.
So we got her that. I got her some little snowmen for her room. That tree that I bought for our Dasher Day episode is already up in the house.
Love it.
It's already lit. So I feel like it's already happening. I guess the exterior something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just worried about what people are going to think in my neighborhood if they see me up on my roof already.
Right.
Because part of me is like, let's just get it rocking.
Right, because you want, as we were jokingly saying, you want to set the tone and you want to show that you are a massively merry person who's like, I'm getting in early. But I hear you that the exterior of the house is a statement to the neighborhood, right? And so if you come too strong too soon, you could give people either burnout or they're like, oh my gosh, people will roll their eyes.
Yes.
So you got to find that sweet spot of when are you early that people go, oh, Christmas lights, first one, I love that. But they're not like, Christmas lights already?
Yeah, because then every time they walk by my house or drive past my house, they're going to be like, oh, the guy who put his decorations up on November 1st. And they've already got a bad taste in their
Sure,
mouth.
yeah. And we don't want that.
But also, who cares? because
Oh, that's so good.
live your truth. You know what I mean?
But also, who cares?
Who cares? You know, like that's sort of where I'm at when it comes to this. So I think what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to start to run power. And then I'm going to do the roof lights.
Sure.
Because roof lights, they're all white lights.
That's true.
I don't have to turn them on.
Sure.
I'll just get them because that part is like the most exhausting part of it because I have to like bend down and the whole thing. But I was faced with a decision over the weekend.
Okay.
I decided to do something this year that I've never done when preparing the exterior of my house for the holidays. I was like, you know how like you want to like wash your windows from time to time,
Sure.
and maybe you want to clear out some like little like bush areas that like there's a bunch of dead leaves.
Sure, yeah.
I made the decision this year to do all of that before I hung my lights because once the lights are up, I'm not going to want to wash windows. I'm not going to want to pull dead leaves. But I also I'm a mulch guy. Love some mulch. It makes like the planters look really really nice.
Sure, yeah.
And my mulch because it's a windy town that I live in has been gone for a while. There's like a couple stray little pieces of bark here and there. So I went to Lowe's to get some mulch. Sure. They have red mulch.
Like red, like this kind of red.
Like red mulch.
Oh, that's fun.
And Eric, it was so hard for me because I was like, brown's the smart choice. Brown is the smart choice, Danny. And I literally was standing in line because I will pre-purchase it so that way I don't have to like wheel it through the thing. I just get it from the front. And I was literally debating in my mind. I was like, brown mulch, red mulch, brown mulch, red mulch. And I walked out. They're like, what can we get for you? I was like, 12 bags of brown mulch.
Oh.
I know. And even as I walked out to load up my car, the brown was right next to the red. I was like, if I took the red, they would know. No. The same price.
Yeah.
And it'll be so merry in front of my house. But then I was like, will I kick myself come January, February? And I have to say, I stuck with the brown.
I think you're probably right.
Do you think that was the right
move? I think it was the right move.
Okay.
But I can exactly picture the feeling at the counter being like, I could just so easily say red and then it would happen. But
in my mind, I was like, why am I debating with myself about this? Like, Danny, if you want the red mulch, get yourself the red mulch. Yeah. But then I was like, I think I'm going to kick myself come, February of next year. But I guess Valentine's Day.
That's true.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Dang it. Well, next year. Next year I will get the red mulch. But that was something I'd never even thought about before. Of like, how do you pre-prep your house? Because I was like, my decorations will look so much nicer if they're sitting on some fresh mulch compared to a bunch of dirt.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm really taking it. I'm going for the full presentation.
I bet you could probably find green mulch somewhere too.
Dude, you know what I bought?
And then you could intermix the green and the red mulch together and it would have a nice little kind of like, it would look sort of like this, but with like red and green. Oh.
Or sensical. You know what I did buy though?
What?
Because I did not go for Christmas decorations. I went for mulch.
Sure.
But I walked around the Christmas decor. Just to make sure nothing new popped up. Yeah. And I was like, the Christmas lover and me could not walk out without buying one Christmas item. So I got a brand new porch light that's red.
Ooh.
They have like their specific like the sort of like cool old style looking bulbs, but they had red and green.
I love that.
So I bought a red one.
Do you know the story of the red bulb at Disneyland?
I think so, but
I'll tell you.
Tell me, yeah.
It's great. So on Main Street USA, because we're both Disney fans.
Oh, yeah.
On Main Street USA, it's I believe near the candy shop. They have red and soft white or yellow bulbs alternating like on the overhead, like as you're walking into
like the Coke corner place where the piano player sits. Yeah.
And so they're like red and yellow lights and they alternate and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And Walt Disney himself was walking around one year. The park had been open for a little while. And just the way with the number of lights that they had, it was like uneven in one corner.
Oh.
So it was going yellow, yellow, as opposed to red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow.
Okay.
Just because the way that it, like the number of lights they
had.
And Walt Disney was so bothered by that, which I love, his attention to details. So they went in and he had them paint one half of the light red and then the other half is yellow so that it's always correct.
Oh, wow.
And I just love that. It's a little thing that you can see if you go to Disneyland and find it. It's in the corner, like the back corner of the Coke shop.
The Coke corner spot
Yeah.
where they sell like the hot dogs
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
Cokes.
yeah.
That's that attention
Isn't
to
that cool?
detail.
Yeah.
I think that's why you and I probably feel, I know it's why I feel an affinity towards Disney is
Yeah.
that it's storytelling at its finest, and they think of all of those little details. which
Totally.
I absolutely love so much. Speaking of the details, I would love to share the details about what is going on with Hallmark Channel this
weekend.
weekend. Countdown to Christmas
Yes.
is happening.
Yes.
So many movies.
Great movies.
many-
New movies every weekend.
Every weekend,
Every
Friday,
Friday,
Saturday,
Saturday,
Sunday.
Sunday.
And some weekends you get double features.
Yes.
So double your pleasure, double your fun. That's
Christmas fun. No, you can't rhyme fun.
That's
with
how
fun.
Christmas is
That's
done.
done. Yes.
there
you
it
go.
is.
There you
Boom. So this weekend, as you shared earlier this week, we have Royal Nanny coming
on
out Saturday night, which is one of your movies.
It is. I'm very excited. Which again, it's about a MI5 agent who's like a spy, and she becomes a royal nanny, the nanny for the royals. But
going undercover, right?
She goes undercover, and she also falls in love with Prince Colin. And what
who
will she
wouldn't?
choose?
Who wouldn't?
He's so charming.
Yes.
He's so charming.
Prince Charming.
That's right.
Some might say. So I was thinking because when I was reading more about this movie because this was your choice, so I
Yeah.
was like, I want to familiarize myself with what Eric has chosen for his fantasy team. That's you got to study your competition.
Got to.
And I was looking into Hallmark Channel. And they say that it's basically like James Bond meets Mary Poppins.
Perfect. I
Love that. I don't feel like we've never seen that
No.
before. So, good on you, Hallmark Channel. But I was thinking this feels like a great opportunity for a game.
Like a this or that kind of
This
thing.
or that, or like, would you
Yeah.
rather?
Yes. Yeah.
So, like, would you rather Christmas edition? And what I'm thinking is, like, would you rather have Mary Poppins or James Bond help you out with certain Christmas
tasks.
Exactly.
I love that. Let's do it. Let's figure it out.
All right. So, Chris, speaking of Christmas tasks, we are going to task you. Ding, ding. Thank you very much.
That's right.
Thank you.
You can do the
I like
bells
how
right there.
I gave myself one. Ding, ding. Propping myself up today. So, Chris, can you just maybe throw out some, tasks or like
Christmas
activities,
situations,
Christmas
yeah.
situations? I love that. And Eric and I will each choose whether or not we would want to have Mary Poppins on our team,
Yeah.
or whether or not we would want to have James Bond,
Yeah.
on our team.
Sure. Let's start with an easy one. How about who would you rather help you shop for the perfect gift?
Ooh, shop for the
Now
perfect
you
gift.
could go two ways. The obvious
You
answer. You're really good. The obvious answer is Mary Poppins, right? That seems James Bond seems like somebody who would be like shopping. I'm not going to go shopping,
Right.
But here's what I think: if you go with James Bond, he would clear the way. He could clear the department store.
Okay.
He could pretend to chase a bad guy, and it would cause everybody would just run out of the store, right? And then there's no lines. So I'm gonna just to buck convention. I'm gonna say James Bond.
See, I think I was going to go James Bond as well. My thinking was, first of all, I think he's got great taste.
Definitely.
drives an Aston
This is
Martin.
true. This is true. Great suits, great watches.
suits, likes is very specific about his beverage that he likes
Yeah,
to consume. And here's the thing, Mary Poppins, she's got that bag that she could sort of stuff anything
Sure.
into, but like I don't know if there's anything in Mary Poppins' story. Like Mary Poppins can be very by the book.
Practical.
Yes, practically perfect in every way,
Yes.
except for gift giving.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe. And for me, like with James Bond, I think of like someone who's undercover. I think James Bond may be able to covertly figure out
What the person that you're giving a gift to, what they love.
what they love.
Yeah, that's good.
And then they'd be like, all right, he is the dirt.
Right.
I don't know
Yes.
why the dirt. Why is the
that was great. But also another thing you could do if you had James Bond is you could go to Q. Is it Q? No. Who's the one? Q is the boss. Who's the one who gives him all his toys? Like this is a watch that can shoot laser beams. I think maybe M is the
Alfred.
M is the big one, and I think Q is the one that does the gadgets.
Yeah. Okay. So M is the Judi Dench, and then Q is the nerdy helper.
Yes.
Great. So yeah, I would go because then you could go to Q and you could be like, hey, I don't know what to get my wife, and he's like, I've got a pair of high heels that also turn into jetpacks. and also have laser beams that shoot out of the sides, not the front. So, and you'd be like, "Oh, my wife will love these."
She's been looking for these.
She's been looking exactly
for the last
this.
3 Christmases. She's asked for these exact high heels.
Couldn't find them anywhere.
They're called. That's actually what Louboutins do.
That's right.
That's why they're so expensive.
Exactly.
Because they shoot
They
lasers.
have to be, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, this
All right,
is
so
fun.
we both went with James Bond. on
James
that one.
Bond. Okay.
What's next, Chris?
Who would you rather cook you Christmas dinner?
Okay. I think you go one of 2 ways here.
That's a great joke.
It's a great joke.
What do you think, Danny? You start.
I mean, I don't know if James Bond. I'm trying to think of his movies and whether or not he's ever known for like cooking. Does
Have
he
we ever seen him cook his own meal? Have we
I-
ever seen him eat? I
All
don't
he does
think
is
we have.
drink. This
Just
man.
kidding.
I'm worried about him. How does he keep his bearings about himself with an empty stomach?
I don't know.
I feel like Mary Poppins
Yeah.
has got to be, she knows that like this idea of like a spoonful of sugar,
Right.
Maybe
She's
she
good at
bakes.
measurements.
Yeah, she knows. Like I think she's just got it in her. She knows how to bake. She knows how to cook.
I would think that would be part of the nanny 101. Is even if the family is so wealthy that they have a cook and a nanny,
Yeah.
just in case the cook is out, the nanny's probably gonna have to step in.
Have you ever interviewed a nanny before?
No, but my wife was kind of a nanny for a
Okay.
minute. When we first moved to New York, there was a family that it was actually really cool. She was actually more of a cook, but she was like half cook, half nanny.
Okay.
She would pick up the kids from school. They were like early high school age. She would take them home and get them like set up, but then their mom was home, but she was she's okay right now, but she was dealing with cancer at the time and wanted to like spend as much time with her kids. So basically what Lisa's job was she would like pick up the kids, get them home. Their mom would spend time with them, help them with their homework, and then Lisa would cook them dinner.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember when we were interviewing nannies for Emerson, that was always one of the questions that the nannies would ask us is,
Do you want me to cook?
do you want me to cook?
Yeah.
And do you want me to do your laundry?
Right, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But no, we didn't say that. But I wonder, like, we never saw that part of the Mary Poppins interview process.
Yeah.
But I would guess.
I would think she would be able to
just
handle it.
Feels like someone
More
who'd be
than
a good
James
cook.
Bond.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that one's pretty
Yeah,
clear.
yeah.
Do you agree?
I agree.
Okay.
Agree.
All right, what's the next one?
All right, we're going to raise the stakes for this one. This one is for the entire Christmas season. Whose Christmas playlist would you rather listen to?
Ooh, that's a great question, Chris.
Chris.
Oh, wow.
That's solid.
Okay, so they're both British.
Yes.
So you get some great Brit pop Christmas music, right?
But are you getting like Daniel Craig James Bond, who's like more modern James Bond, or are you getting more like Sean
I
Connery?
think it's up to you. You can
Okay.
choose your James Bond.
Okay, choose your Bond.
Choose your Bond.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one because I feel like James Bond would have some really classy. He would love the Rat Pack stuff
Jamie
that we
Cullum,
love. Yeah,
Robbie
he would love
Williams,
that.
yeah.
So that would be good, but I feel like Mary Poppins is so good at really giving people what they need.
Ooh,
Right?
ooh,
Like
that's a great
that's what
point.
she does best is she doesn't give you what you want, she gives you what you need and then thus the children and the father change and become better people. So maybe the better playlist would be from Mary Poppins because she would like make it so specific to you to really unlock your Christmas spirit.
That's incredible. I was gonna just be very blunt and say that I think Mary Poppins would choose very like bubblegummy, sugary
Sure.
sort of songs.
Yeah.
And James Bond would give us
The Rat
something that
Packy
speaks
stuff, yeah.
more to our personality. But that, that's the beauty of this MI5 agent in A Royal Nanny.
Yes.
Claire is that Claire is both.
Yes.
So Claire, maybe I'd want Claire.
Yeah.
Frankly, because
Probably.
Claire would be like, that would be a true mix. That would be like random. Like you would get a little bit of the Rat Pack vibe, but you'd also get a little bit of those classics
Sure.
that you love so much, or some of those like fun, more like happy dee 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 sort of like Christmas songs, like the Brenda Lee's. Like I don't think James Bond would choose Brenda Lee.
No.
But I think
I
Claire,
can't picture Daniel Craig dancing like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone to like rocking around the Christmas tree.
But that's
Although I'd like to see it.
But that's what would make Claire so brilliant is you're getting both, which I think is what makes her such a dynamic character and why I can't wait to learn more about her this weekend
Royal Nanny.
when Royal Nanny airs on Hallmark Channel. Should we do one more, Chris?
Sure. So they're both known for their unique forms of transportation. Who would you rather get you home in time for Christmas?
Whoa.
So let's talk about their forms of transportation.
Yes.
Mary Poppins by umbrella. You can fly everywhere, but you got to hold on to the umbrella.
You got to hold on to it tight. Yeah.
Would she give you your own umbrella, or do you have to like hold on to Mary Poppins's body as she's holding the umbrella?
That's a good question. And would Rihanna be singing
umbrellas
Ella,
while you're moving?
While you're doing
flying?
it?
Yes,
like,
yes.
is that part of the playlist? I don't know. I mean, look, I think
You got two options here, really. You could go one of two ways.
You go one of two ways. You're either traveling by umbrella. I mean, look,
Or Aston Martin.
James Bond has. Look, I have dreamed of owning an Aston Martin ever since I was a valet at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and the first time I heard one of those start up,
Yeah.
up at the valet stand, it was like, "Bop, bop, bop, bop." I was like, okay, want one of those. And the doors. Have you ever seen how the doors open?
No.
They open with like just a slight little flare. As they could it's ever so
Just a
slight.
little bit, yeah.
It's just a little bit. And I've sat in one. I got to drive one to the parking lot one time. So for me, I feel like you look at all the ways that like James Bond has like found his way through trouble.
Yeah.
He's going to get you there, and he's going to get you there in style, and you're not going to have to hold on to an umbrella.
True.
Which I like.
I'm with you, but I think I might go Mary Poppins only because I love looking at Christmas lights and the view from up above London,
Okay.
looking down at like a bunch of Christmas lights
Yeah.
could be really great.
That is a really great point.
So yeah,
I didn't even think of that.
good.
That was so
one's a
brilliantly
split.
done.
You could really go one of two ways.
You could really the whole game. Maybe we should have called the game one of two.
One of
ways.
two ways.
Anyway,
great.
if you want to see how an MI5 agent navigates going undercover as a nanny for the royal
Christmas.
family I mean,
Obviously.
that is if that's not the kitchen sink,
Right.
I don't know what is. You're going to want to check it out this Saturday night at 8/7 Central on Hallmark Channel. And Eric, I know you're going to be watching very intently.
I will be checking for all my points.
I can't wait. I'll be tuning in as well. I'm very excited for this
a
one.
good one.
Speaking of things I'm excited for, I think I'm excited to get. I know I'm excited to get to part 2
Countdown
of our list.
I think we should do it.
Let's do it.
So just a reminder, this was the top 10 lines from Christmas movies. Let's hear our theme song before we jump into this.
Let's.
I love it. So again, this is the top 10 lines from Christmas movies. As per the usual, we will give you our 10 through 6 as a reminder, and then we will pop it off with number 5 for me. All right, so my number 10 was from Miracle on 34th Street. I believe, it's silly, but I believe. My number 9 was from Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey, and it was never be afraid when people can't see what you see. Only be afraid if you no longer see it. My number 8 was from Christmas Story, and it was so poisoning. I love saying it every time. My number 7 was from Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and it was blast this Christmas music. It's joyful and triumphant. And my number 6 was from It's a Wonderful Life. Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. When he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he? So that was my 10 through 6. Let's get to my number 5. This is from the movie Love Actually, which has so many great lines in it.
So many.
Really, there's a ton of quotable lines. But one of my favorite parts of the movie is Bill Nighy's version of this character of Billy Mack, who's this aging pop star who has this song, I feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my toes. Christmas is all around us. It's everywhere we go. Right. It's so good. And if you remember from the movie, he sort of is having a moment of resurgence and he's very popular again. And on Christmas Eve, he should be at Elton John's party. He's supposed to be at Elton John's big Christmas party. But instead, he shows up at the apartment of Chubbs, his manager, his long-suffering manager. And he says this sort of scene, line/scene, but it's so good, so I'm going to read it for you. Chubbs says, "What the heck are you doing here? You're supposed to be at Elton John's." And he says, "Well, I was there for a minute or two, and then I had an epiphany. It was about Christmas." And then Chubbs says, "You realized it was all around?" And he goes, "No, I realized that Christmas is the time to be with the people you love, right? And I realized that as dire chance and faithful cock-up would have it, here I am, mid-50s, and without knowing it, I spent most of my adult life with a chubby employee, and as much as it grieves me to say it, it might be that the people I love is, in fact, you. I just love that scene. I think it's so great. Bill Nighy obviously is such a great actor and brings such a sarcasm and sharp wit, but also heart to everything he does.
Yep.
So I love that whole movie. Love so many characters in that movie. There's a lot of great lines, but that's that little scene, that little monologue that he does to Chubbs, his manager, on Christmas Eve, realizing that it's the time to be with the people you love. It's good.
And that's the one who's always been by his side.
That's right.
You know, through it all. Through
that's right.
Thick and thin. Such a great movie. Love it to bits. I remember seeing that in the theater for the first time. Like, I have a very specific memory. I saw it at the ArcLight in Hollywood, and I just, like, when that, we talked about this in the last episode, but like when that opener played with all the people, it just like it gave me such a warm feeling. I hope we'll get some of those this holiday season to actually go to the theater and see some of those heartwarming movies. And, you know, good news, if there aren't any that appeal to you, Hallmark Channel, right there. Got a lot of options. All right, so we'll start with my 10 through 6 before I get to my number 5. At number 10, I had from A Christmas Carol, Scrooge says, "I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year." Love that line. Number 9, this is from It's a Wonderful Life. Clarence says, "Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. When he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he?" So good. Number 8, this is from Love Actually. It is, "If you look for it, I've got a sneaky feeling that you'll find that love is actually all around." I wish I know it's not proper English, but I've always wished that he would say that love actually is all around.
Love actually,
I know. And for years, I thought that was the line.
Yeah, you would think.
You would think maybe that was a mistake.
Wow.
I don't know. I would love for the writers to come on and talk about it. Anyway, number 7 from Miracle on 34th Street, Chris Kringle says, "Oh, Christmas isn't just a day. It's a frame of mind, and that's been changing. That's what's been changing. That's why I'm glad I'm here. Maybe I can do something about it." Love that line. And then from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, "Dad, this tree won't fit in our backyard." "It's not going in the yard, Russ. It's going in the living room."
You do a very good Chevy Chase.
Oh, thank you. I feel like I talk like that without realizing it.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he has that sort of like, he says a couple of words.
Yeah.
And breaks them apart. Yeah.
"It's not going in. It's not going in the yard, Russ." So good. All right. So moving right along. This is a movie I feel like I've never seen all the way through, but I've seen bits and pieces of it through the years. And this line like really jumped out at me. It's from the movie Deck the Halls. You know, with Matthew Broderick, Kristen Chenoweth, Danny DeVito, and Kristen Davis has this line in it that is, "That's what Christmas memories are made from. They're not planned. They're not scheduled. Nobody puts them in their BlackBerry. They just happen."
That is a great line.
I love that. Now, obviously, nowadays we would say nobody puts them, on their whiteboard calendar.
Yes. For me, yes.
For Aaron. No, but nobody puts them in their iPhone or whatever. Like, I feel like, and look, we're partially to blame for this. We just did an episode that was like top 5 ways to plan for the holiday season, is like get things in your calendar. But I feel like so often the moments that we remember most from the holidays and really from life are the things that you don't plan.
Yeah.
That's when life happens. Like life happens when we get out of the way.
Life happens while we're busy making other plans, right?
Yes.
John Lennon.
How many more can we get? Favorite John Lennon quote?
Yes.
Go. Merry Christmas, John. Anyway, I love that line. I feel like it's very appropriate, even though BlackBerry nobody uses those anymore. Even though I miss my BlackBerry.
I never had a BlackBerry.
What?
Yeah, never was. I had a flip phone.
Oh, man.
I never had a BlackBerry.
BlackBerries were the jam. Because
I remember them.
They were like the first one to have like the full-on keyboard.
Yeah.
And I liked it because it was I'm such a tactile person.
Sure.
I didn't have to tap a screen.
I could feel the little
Yeah, it was like having like a little miniature keyboard and a little like tracker ball where you could like go wherever you wanted. No, granted, I look back at the pictures I took on my BlackBerry and I'm like, God.
But do you remember when we took pictures with our old phones? We're like, I got a picture on my phone, and the like 5 pixels.
And
but
now you look at it, you're like, is that even me?
Yeah,
I couldn't. It could be anybody. But anyway, I love that. I love that. I think that's something for us all to keep in mind this holiday season is to be open to letting the season take you where it wants to take you and finding those massively merry, gigantically jolly, fantastically festive moments.
Yes, I love that. There's another line from that movie that almost made my list.
Really?
Where he says, I want to see my house from space. Which is a great reference about Christmas lights.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
fun.
I mean, that might be my goal eventually.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't want to see my electric bill from space.
No. But
the
the
lights,
house, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 4 was going to be the line from Christmas Vacation about it's not going in the yard, Russ. Love that, but it's been covered, so I changed it on the fly.
Okay.
And I chose one of many, many quotes from Elf. Okay. I'm wearing an Elf shirt right now.
You're right. Is that where he goes, Santa?
That is where he does this. Yep. I love this line. As I've mentioned before on the podcast, I played Buddy the Elf in Elf the Musical at Madison Square Garden a few years back, and I always loved saying this line. It's a classic. It just is. It's the unbridled joy that Will Ferrell has when he says this, and also the list that he makes. But he says, I planned out our whole day. First, we'll make snow angels for 2 hours. Then we'll go ice skating. Then we'll eat a whole roll of Toll House cookie dough as fast as we can. And then we'll snuggle. And I just love, he says it to his dad, played by James Caan. Yes. And he's, just that it's the moments in Elf where Buddy is still completely unaware that his dad is not in the mood and is very much a Scrooge. And I just love the things that he wants to do with his dad. I love that he wants to go to the park. He wants to play, do snow angels. I love the idea of eating a whole roll of Toll House cookie dough as fast as you can. I once, when I was doing press for Elf, I went to the BuzzFeed offices in New York.
Fun.
And we did like a little video package to like 12 ways to get ready for the season with Buddy the Elf or something. Right. And they had me take a roll of Toll House cookie dough and try to get as much of it into my mouth at once. I'll try to find it somewhere. But I was like it was really trying to just inhale it. And it was very fun.
Great.
But yeah, and then at the end that he says, and then we'll snuggle, which is the best part. That's my favorite part.
The kindest heart.
The kindest heart.
And I love that we got to hear someone who played Buddy the Elf on a massive stage.
Look at that.
You don't get that everywhere, folks.
No.
There are lots of podcasts out in the world. But where do you get to listen to the people who spoke those lines?
Yeah.
Speaking them to you.
To you for free.
For free. Well, unless you want to subscribe.
I'll do all the other lines.
Eric's just going to read the whole script.
Yes.
He won't maybe read all of them. But maybe a couple.
Yeah.
But you got to subscribe to find out.
That's right.
Anyway, okay, moving right along. This line, some people might consider this to be a throwaway line in the movie. Or a line from this movie. The movie's Home Alone.
Right.
And I feel like when you say Home Alone, there are a lot of lines that come
Classics
to mind immediately. Keep the change, you filthy animal. What's another one? This is a season of perpetual hope.
Sure.
There's a lot of those really classic. Yes. There's even there's a line that I say to my wife a lot lately, which she's not always wild that I say it to her. Like when she's like having a bad day or she forgets something, I go, well, if it makes you feel any better, I forgot my reading glasses. I say that to her a lot, but that's not my line. But anyway, that one, sometimes she laughs, sometimes
depending on the mood.
She doesn't.
Yeah, sure.
But this line is when Marv and Harry are chasing Kevin, and they've made it through the whole fun house, and they're up in the attic, and Kevin is like, he rode like his handlebars across into the treehouse. Yeah, the zip line. And they make it there, and he goes, "Gonna call the cops." And then Marv's like, or Harry's like, "Okay, we got to go get him." And Harry's like, "He's gonna call the cops." And Marv goes, "From a treehouse."
The great Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. It's like it's every time that moment's about to come, I get so excited. It's like, you know how you're like watching a movie you love, with people, and maybe they haven't seen it before,
parts,
and like you don't even watch. You're like, okay, I want to watch how they react to this moment. That moment when he goes, "He's gonna call the cops from a treehouse." It's just like it's It's so brilliant.
It is great.
And the way that those two, Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci, interact together all throughout that movie. I mean, there's a great moment in Home Alone 2 as well.
You throw it in there.
Should I throw it in there?
Throw it in
I mean,
well,
no, you know what? I'll save it for the Patreon episode for 11 through 15.
That's
if you want to
right.
hear
That's
this, one of my favorite lines from Home Alone 2, I'll give it to you in the Patreon episode.
I love that.
Yep.
That's a great selection. I love it. We're to my number 3. My number 3 greatest line from a Christmas movie is at the end of this movie. Sort of wraps it all up. This movie I love, and it is a polarizing movie, if you will.
I know where you're going.
And it's Polar Express.
Yes.
Some people get freaked out by the animation.
It's
because it was
a little
early
lifelike, yeah.
animation.
Yeah.
But the sentiment of the movie is so great. And I remember reading that book, and I loved the way that they took the art from the book and really, truly recreated it in movie form.
Yeah.
But this line is spoken by Tom Hanks, who is narrating the film. Tom Hanks plays a lot of the characters, but he's narrating the film, and he was the child in the story, and now he's an adult. And he says, "At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell. But as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe."
Oh,
which is just
Chills.
awesome.
Chills.
And I love that idea. I love that part of the movie that, Santa gave him this bell, and that as long as you can hear that bell, like that means you still believe. And something that obviously we talk about and have strived for in our lives is to keep that sense of wonder and belief that we had as kids and try to infuse that into our lives, especially at the season that we're in. And I just think that, I love how he says, even Sarah lost it, his sister couldn't hear it anymore at a certain point, but he always still believed. And I love that movie, love that line about the movie. And that's my number 3 selection.
At number 3, I've got a line from that classic, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And the line is, this comes from our narrator. And the line is, "What if Christmas," he thought, "doesn't come from a store? What if Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more?" I can hear Sir Anthony Hopkins delivering that line from the live action version. And that's when I went back and was researching lines that really stood out to me from movies that I love or movies that maybe I don't often think about. That one hit me just because, so often, as we talked about recently, the idea of I love to give gifts. But what I'm realizing more and more is that us just showing up for those that we love.
Yeah, pouring into the people around us.
Pouring into the people around you that love you.
Yeah.
And care about you and look up to you.
Yeah.
To pour into those people and to allow that exchange of energy to happen, to not feel like you always have to be pouring out, but that you can also accept them pouring back in to you, that it is a two-way street. And that line just it hit for me in a very powerful way. And I would encourage everybody out there, as this holiday season, as we are in it now, to find ways to show up for people in the world.
And I think, you brought up gift giving, and I think it's so true that we think about checking somebody off the list, right? Oh, I got something for my father, or I got something for my uncle, or whatever. Yeah. And we can think it's it's a duty or an obligation that you have to get something for somebody in the holiday season. But I think you're totally right that the more important thing is what you're trying to do is you're trying to give them an emotion, a feeling, and it's less about giving them a thing. Sometimes the thing gets them to the emotion, and that's why we do give the thing. But sometimes somebody might not need a new PlayStation or something like that, but a truly personalized gift or a letter that says how you truly feel about them or your relationship or something will be more valuable to them because you're getting them to an emotion. And I think that that's always the thing that we should search for in life is feeling emotions and feeling good emotions and trying to be honest with how we feel about stuff. And so I just liked what you said about that the gift giving should be about getting someone to a place where they feel filled up and appreciated, and less about like, here's a new toy or something like that.
Look at us getting all
Very emotional. This is great.
philosophical.
Yeah.
I know it only took us 8 episodes. And we're going ham on it. I love it.
Is it to me?
It is to you.
It is to me. Okay, my number 2 selection is another one from Elf, apropos because I'm wearing the shirt. Now, I could have gone with, bye, buddy. I hope you find your dad. Great line. I could have gone with, son of a nutcracker. Could have gone with that. Could have gone with, Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? Another great one.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the classic. The classic, maybe the best 2 or 3 seconds of the movie.
Okay.
And it happens when Buddy the Elf is at the department store and his manager is saying, okay, everybody, tomorrow Santa Claus is going to be here. And the way that Will Ferrell says, Santa! Oh, God! Oh, my God, Santa here! I know him! is just the greatest. It's so funny. It is the total encapsulation of Will Ferrell as Buddy the Elf. The joy that he has. I love how he's like, I know him.
Yeah.
The level change that he does is so great. I love that he cuts Donald Faison. Not Donald Faison. Faison Glover. Is that his name?
I think it's Faison Love.
Faison Love. The way that Faison Love, who plays the manager, is not even finished with his line.
Yes.
He's like starting to say, Santa will be here before he even finishes it. Will Ferrell cuts him off and he's like, Santa! Oh my God! It's just so great. It's so classic. I'm not even Will Ferrell. I'm just saying it and it makes me laugh.
I'm smiling. It's so big.
It's just a great line. So that's my number 2 is the Santa, oh my God, I know him.
Do you think that's how it was written originally in the script? They're like, okay, Faison, just sort of keep talking and Will's going to interrupt you.
I don't know.
Do you think
That's
he was
a
like,
great
let me improv one here. This is how Buddy, I think, would react in this moment.
Obviously Will Ferrell is a pro at improvisation and a lot of his movies are made that way, but this was one of his first films, and so I don't know how necessarily comfortable he was, because I'll say this as an actor, being on a film set and feeling comfortable enough to improvise, it takes time. Like if you're just a small part or if you're earlier on in your career, the guts that it takes to be like, I'm not going to say the lines in the script, I'm going to make up my own.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of chutzpah, if you will.
Right.
So I don't know. I'd love to know if that moment especially was improvised or real. But
well, when
it's a great moment regardless.
When we have Will on the show,
he'll
tell us all about it.
Of course.
Okay, I thought so. So my number 2 is from Elf as well.
I love that.
And I was like, oh geez, are we gonna have a
same
duplicate here? But mine is from, I believe it's that same scene where he's talking about like singing, right? And he's
yes.
I'm singing. I'm in a store and I'm singing. I'm in a store and I'm singing. And then Faison Love goes, there's no singing in the North Pole. He goes, yes, there is. He goes, no, there's not. Yes, there is. We do it all the time, especially when we're making toys. It's just like that whole exchange. It's just like that. Nobody knows what to do with him.
Yeah.
But I love like Zooey Deschanel, like just the way she plays her character is so perfect in that, because she's just like, is this guy for real?
Yeah. Nobody can really put their finger on if it's like a bit or if he's real. Yeah.
But it's like, it's endearing to her. Like whether it's real or not, she's like in it. I think she loves like that she's been stuck in this like stuffy job that she doesn't want to do. And somebody's come in and they're like ruffling the feathers. And she just loves like seeing how
the show.
Unabashedly he's just like loving Christmas. It's so great. That movie is just.
How great is that movie that it literally came out? It was, you hear this all the time, it was an instant classic.
Yeah.
Like it really came out and you knew from the first time of seeing it, we're going to watch this every year. Like this is not it's a Christmas movie, the new one of this year. Like you knew that was a classic first watch.
Oh yeah.
Which is awesome.
And it's just got those lines. Like that's
great
a great movie to me is one that I walk out of the theater and I'm reciting those lines in my head, or the next day. Yeah. You think about like, iconic lines that you just have become a part of like common vernacular. Like, you're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah.
From Sandlot.
Yeah.
I feel like Elf is just packed
Totally.
with those lines. And,
Yeah.
you know, Will Ferrell, just like we were talking about with Jim Carrey and The Grinch. I mean, who else?
Yeah. And you know, it's crazy. I think we talked about this last season, but there's a making of Elf that's on Netflix, I think.
Right.
And Will Ferrell talks about how he was shooting the scene where he was like out in the streets of New York and he was like hopping on the like the crosswalk
Yes.
in this tights and his little green hat and everything. And he was thinking to himself, my career's over. Like, I can't believe that I left SNL and this is like my first big movie and this is what I'm doing. I'm wearing yellow tights and hopping along through the streets of New York, and he thought his career would be over because he thought it would be such a silly movie, and then
Boom.
it turned out to be so
It
great.
blew him up.
So great.
To the stratosphere. All right, we've made it to our number ones.
We have.
Are you ready?
Okay, my number one is a good one.
Okay.
This is from, it would have to be. It's like one of 15 good ones.
Yeah, you can go one of two ways.
One of two ways here. All right, so this is said by Fred Gailey from the movie Miracle on 34th Street. And I think this just encapsulates the whole season, and it goes like this. Faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to. Don't you see? It's not just Chris that's on trial. It's everything he stands for. It's kindness and joy and love and all the other intangibles. Oh, how great is that? Because the first line of faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to. Yeah. That's everything. That's the magic of Christmas is rolled into that. The magic of Santa Claus is rolled into that. The religious aspect of Christmas is rolled into that. That is such a great, great line. And then I love how in the tail end of that part, he says, it's not just Chris that's on trial. It's everything he stands for. It's kindness and joy and love and all the other intangibles. It's just such a beautiful line.
Yeah.
It encapsulates that movie, but also, to me, the whole season. So that was my number one greatest line from a Christmas movie.
Such a good one. I'm so glad that this show was happening for many reasons. But like last season, I think I shared this with you that I went and watched Miracle on 34th Street that I always just thought of as like a movie that adults watched. But hey, spoiler alert, I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
As much as I try to avoid it. But like going back and watching that movie again, there were just so many moments that connected with me that just were very, very impactful.
Have you watched both the old version and the newer version?
Only the newer one.
You should watch the old one too.
Okay.
It's great.
All right.
I think that line technically is from the old version.
Okay. I'll have to go back
like
in.
1940s or 50s version.
Well,
Yeah.
good news. The holiday season is here.
You're ready.
Which means
You got
it's time to start watching movies. So before I get to my number one, did want to remind everybody that if you're interested in hearing our 11 through 15, there are more lines that
Great
have great lines, funny lines, heartfelt lines
Yeah.
that we are going to share with you all. All you have to do is join our Patreon. The link for that is in the episode notes, or you can, if you're on Spotify or Apple, you can just subscribe right
Boom.
now. And every week you're going to get a bonus episode. And if you subscribe now, actually there's a few waiting for you.
Yeah.
Already, you're like,
Yeah.
I've
least
run out of
4.
episodes. Well, now I think this will be this week will be the fourth.
The fourth one, yeah.
Fourth bonus episodes. You're going to get even more Danny and Eric.
Yeah.
And Eric and Danny.
Who doesn't want that?
Who doesn't want more of that? Maybe our wives. I don't know. But yeah. So make sure you do that. And we've also got something. We're sort of burying the lead here, Eric. We have something very exciting
Yeah.
that we are doing.
We should say it. We'll really announce it next week.
We'll really
But
announce it next
we'll
week.
We'll tease it now.
We're doing like a great sort of like Christmas countdown cheer sweepstakes. Ooh, I like that. Where if you are subscribing on Apple or Spotify or you're a supporter on Patreon, or even if you subscribe to our Instagram, because now we can do that. It's 99 cents a month and you get private content that nobody else gets access to. Essentially, for every $1 that you are supporting us between now and Christmas. So if you're a Patreon supporter of $5, that's 5 entries. But if it's 2 months, that's 10 entries right there. You're going to get an entry into the sweepstakes where we are going to give away
An amazing prize.
an amazing prize. Should we tell them what the prize
No,
is, or should we save that?
Let's save that.
Let's
Yeah.
save that. But
it's going to be great.
It's going to be something that everybody
We'll want.
will want.
Yes.
Trust us when we tell you want, need.
Both.
It's going to make Christmas very magical.
Yes, absolutely.
for one lucky winner this year. So if you want to get in on that, all you have to do is subscribe, and we're going to be giving a percentage of all of the subscription proceeds to St. Jude.
Yes, which is a great charity. If you're unaware, St. Jude's is a hospital based in Memphis, Tennessee, that works exclusively with children, mostly with cancer, but with a lot of rare diseases and stuff like that. And the great part about St. Jude is no family ever pays a penny to the hospital because they feel like when a family is going through a time like that,
right,
the financial hit of it should not be a part of it. So they're a great charity. We're happy to be sending some funds their way.
Yep, that's the plan. Because as we said earlier, Christmas does not come from a store.
That's right.
Perhaps it's a little bit more.
A little bit more.
And
it's
that's what we're all about.
All around us.
Let's just work every line into our pitch for the sweepstakes.
Yes.
Anyway, you're going to want to check that out and go to our Instagram page because we're going to post a video there that specifically talks about this sweepstakes and how you can get involved. But anyway, enough about the busy biz. Let's get to my number one. And this one really just hit me. You talked about Polar Express earlier, and it is a very polarizing movie, as you shared. Love that pun. This line, I don't know if I fully realized it when I watched the movie, but when I was going back through like famous movie lines, I read this one and it was like it just connected with exactly who I am at this place in my life. And that line is, the thing about trains, it doesn't matter where they're going. What matters is deciding to get on.
Great line.
And there's so many aspects of life that connects to. I feel like I've said similar things, like there's a million reasons not to do something, you know? There were a million reasons for you and I to not start a Christmas podcast.
Sure.
It took a lot of time. Would anybody listen? Blah, blah, blah. But what mattered was we got on the train.
Start it.
And here we are. And I think a lot of us feel out in the world, there's a lot of intimidation in deciding to do something. You are making an active decision that says, I'm going to put myself out there in some way. But who cares where it goes? Like, honestly, like life is a journey, you know, and why not experience everything that brings you joy? Why not choose to lean into these ideas that you have inside of you? There's only one you in the world. There's only one you that looks at the world the way that you do and processes things and has the dreams and aspirations and the way of doing it that you do. So why not make that decision to get on that train? And in this case, I think the train is you.
Yeah.
I think the train is you in your life, making that
potential.
decision, your potential to say, you know what, maybe this train only takes me one town over. Who cares?
Still traveling.
There could be another train there that you're going to get on that's going to take you 3 towns over, and then the next one takes you 7 towns over.
I heard this great quote from Denzel Washington was giving, I don't know if it was a newer thing or if it was older, but it came through my feed. It was Denzel Washington giving a commencement speech at University of Pennsylvania. And he's talking a lot of great advice, but one of the things he talks about is this idea that when you are old and lying on your deathbed, that the ghosts of the possibilities of your life will surround you. And you don't want to be old and seeing like, oh, well, I could have done that, or I could have followed that dream, or I could have jumped at that opportunity, or I could have. And he said, when you get to that point in your life, you should try to have no ghosts. Like try to have experienced everything that you could and jumped at every opportunity that was in front of you. And it's exactly what you're saying, you know, get on the train.
Would you rather be disappointed that you tried something that you were really passionate about and it didn't work out, or not try it and never know?
And have regret. Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to, you know? So I would encourage everyone, like whatever you're feeling. I know that, you know, we've been getting very philosophical lately on the show, but like, I feel like there's people out there who need to hear this.
Yeah.
I know that I was someone who needed to hear it, and I'm talking to myself right now. It's like, just get on the train and lean into who you are and what makes you you. We can't wait to cheer you on while you do it.
Agreed. I think this was a great list because it was so inspiring.
Yeah.
It really captured the magic of Christmas and the meaning of Christmas, which is what we're always trying to do here. It was very deep and philosophical, and I like that. I think
Me
our
too.
listeners will too.
I hope so.
But hopefully you did enjoy it. If you have any thoughts or you feel like we were wrong in our 10 through 1 and you have a different selection that you feel like, how could you leave this line out? Shoot us a DM, hit us up on all the socials or in the reviews and let us know what you're thinking. We'll be excited for next week. Another great list will be coming up.
We got 2 lists.
Two lists next week, yeah. If you want to hear our 15 through 11, make sure you sign on for Patreon or on Spotify or on Apple for the bonus content.
Yes.
And we will see you on the next one. But as we say on every episode of the Christmas Countdown Show, Merry Christmas.
And happy holidays.
See you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Peace.